Hi everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read, but today I'm going to do a writing video. I'm not quite sure how many words I'm going to vlog. I'm experimenting with doing my hobbies in blocks per week or so, depending on when I finish a particular task. So I may tell myself that I'm going to edit a YouTube video in the evenings up until I'm finished it, and then I'll pick another hobby. So right now I am wanting to get from 33,700 words to 38,000 words, which is just roughly under 5,000. I may decide to do up to 40,000 for this vlog, but we'll see because I don't know how quick I'm going to be able to do this. I certainly don't think I'm going to be writing 1,000 words a day, so it may take me 2 weeks and I may need to stop before I hit the 38,000 to have a bit of a break so I don't burn out. But we'll see. This is a big experiment and I'm looking forward to taking you guys along for the ride, but also super excited just to have gotten back to some writing because it has been a really long time and I'm just excited to continue on with my manuscript. Quick update afterwards, sorry that it's shaky, I forgot to do this and then I got out of my setup. I wrote about 200 words and it was really hard. I have been sharing some words on Instagram lately as like first draft copies and I don't even feel confident doing this. It was still fine, but just nothing exciting. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be more excited and motivated because I'm nearly about to hit another 1,000 words, so reach like 34,000. And it's also a really cool scene that's coming up. So I just finished the end of a scene and now I've got a really awesome one coming up. So hopefully I am super excited for that. But it is always hard starting back. So anybody that's starting again or just has had a break or starting for the first time, just know that it is hard and it does get easier. Hello, nice to see you guys again. I'm going to chat to you while I'm waiting for my breakfast to cool down, porridge. I am unreasonably annoyed that I think the milk that we have in our fridge is gone yuck. I think it was yuck when we bought it and we didn't realise, because all I want for breakfast is milk stuff like Nutri-Grain or a Milo, and I can't have it. I could go to the shops, well I couldn't actually because Daniel is out golfing with Miles, which is very nice, but they have the car so I can't go and get anything. I've actually been writing every day this week except for Tuesday and it's been super nice, though it's been really funny that I'm now 38 weeks pregnant and I've decided to write again. This is probably because I'm off work right now. In Australia it's fairly common that you start your maternity leave before the baby's born, so I started at 36 weeks and I'm 38 now, so I've had 2 weeks at home, which has been really lovely. Miles is still going to daycare 3 days a week, so I've had 3 straight days in a row for 2 weeks running now of time by myself. I hope that my work schedule after this baby is born is a bit more conducive to me being able to write. I have still written a little bit in between Miles and this baby and that's been fine, but I just find it really funny that I have started writing again when I'm off work. We're just going to see how I feel with this second baby and with work and stuff like that, and hopefully rejig things a little bit so that my work balance is a bit better with also my parenting responsibilities. So we'll see how that goes, whether it gives me any brain power or whether, I don't know, we'll see. Right now I am up to 35,424 words written. I'm really hoping that I can get to 40,000 words, so write another 5,000 words before I have this baby. It could be any day now, being 38 weeks in non-pregnancy speak. It's 2 weeks away from my due date, but a due date is not a guarantee. I really don't know. It could happen any moment, but I'm hoping it would be nice to have written up to 40,000 words, because that is halfway to my word count goal of 80,000. Last night I had a really nice time doing some research. I have really put into practice what I've learnt over these past years about myself as a writer, in that the description and fleshing out characters is really important. It may seem really silly that I'm saying this, but it's something that's taken me a long time to learn. And the scene that I'm up to writing now, it's in a totally different location that I've never been to before with this character, and I had not, when I did my outline, I had not thought about what the setting was like. It's the main character, Claire. She's going to meet her love interests, or her boyfriend's, that's not a spoiler, but her boyfriend's parents for the first time, and they're meeting at their house. And not only are they new characters, it's also a new setting. And for me, again, the setting is super important, even if it's something simple as the boyfriend's house or the boyfriend's parents' house. It is still so important that I understand what their house looks like, what all the decor is, or not every piece of decor, but just I'm calling them the basics, and it's true, it is the basics that I need to know, but it's also incredibly important because it's what makes me able to put into the scene all the interesting parts so that the readers can picture the area. And I also needed to brainstorm the parents' jobs, because that also played into who they are as people, and it actually has played into a lot of where they're living, because I've actually decided, well, I haven't decided, I did a little comment box on my Instagram stories and asked people, what jobs should the parents have, the in-law or the potential in-laws, the boyfriend's parents should have? And I got 2 responses, because I don't have a large following on Instagram, one from my mum and one from my sister. And my mum said sheep farmer and my sister said baker. So I've made the dad a baker and the mum a sheep farmer, but that means that they actually live on a property, on a farmhouse. And then that lent into, how did they get on this property? Like, is it just something that they just bought one day? Like, what does it look like? So I've come up with this whole backstory for the parents, that they actually live with the mum's mum, and it is a property that's been in their family for generations, and the mum has taken over the sheep farming aspect of it, and then how did that happen, and etc, etc, and they still live with the grandma, the grandpa's passed away, and all that kind of thing. So it just led into a really interesting backstory. It's also led down to, I don't have a name for the grandma, I don't know anything about her, and now she's a whole other character that I wasn't expecting to create, but I actually kind of love it as well, that we have this multi-generational family. And then also the love interest, older brother, he is older brother? I think Harley was the, oh, that just reminds me, I was gonna have the love interest being the second eldest, but when I've worked out who's like one of the brothers is continuing on the sheep farm, so that we literally have grandma, mum and dad and child living in the same house, and his wife. I have been calling him the second eldest because he doesn't have a name yet, but the love interest was the second eldest, but he's not gonna continue on. He has his own job and his own place. So yeah. So okay, this has been helpful. Thank you. And it's gone on for a long time. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna eat my porridge, and I'm going to, I think, do some more brainstorming at this point, because I need to be able to, or I'm gonna start the scene. I really need to know who these people are though before I do it, so I don't have to name all the brothers because Harley has a lot of brothers, but I do need to name the grandma and then work out how many there are and who goes where. Alright, bye. Hey guys, it is August, the end of August. I did not make it to whichever goal I had before having the baby, but that's okay, that's fine. Life happens. I've just started writing again yesterday, It was actually yesterday morning at about 2:30 while I was doing a feed, and I'm actually writing on my phone. I'd set this up a while ago actually. It was after Bethany Artizata, who's an indie author. She posted a video about how she's writing in the cracks. It's basically just writing in any spare pockets of time, especially for busy people. She's got 2 children like myself, and just talked about how she set up a Google Doc on her phone, which also syncs to, because it's Google Docs, it syncs anywhere on the internet, so she can access it on her computer and her phone. She doesn't have to transfer anything across, and in that way she was able to get a lot of writing done, which added up whenever she was doing it throughout the day when she would have a spare couple of minutes. I did write on my laptop a little bit after I had just had him, just one session, because I really needed to do something for myself, but it didn't continue on, and then I got the idea that I should continue as I'd set up. I've only added an extra probably about 500 words at this point now. I've only been doing this last night and then today, and even today it was a struggle to get myself to do it. I was just feeling like it's too hard. I can't type with 2 hands while I'm feeding my baby. Right now I still need an arm around him. I do have a sort of half free hand, the one that's got an arm, but it's a lot more free with this one that's not encumbered at all. But then I just thought, well, if you can text people back and scroll with one hand and all that kind of stuff, then I'm sure you can write your book with one hand. So then I just did another bit then, and I just as well telling myself to lose the pressure with having perfect prose. That is often something that gets me, and I do have to think about things a bit. Again, I need the description and the setting to be on point so that I know where I am, but I still have a bit of that mental block that I just have to say to myself, no pressure, just write some words, and it's been really nice. So I'm hoping that I can give you guys more updates soon to say that I've written more words, but we'll just see how we go. Ticking time bomb time, because we have a little sleeping brother in the car, and I've just turned the car off after sitting for a bit with the radio going, scrolling, but I wanted to do a vlog. I am still enjoying typing on my phone. It's been really good. I don't do it every breastfeeding session. Gosh, I'd be nearly finished the book by that stage, I think. No, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but that will be a lot of words. Sometimes I just want to relax, sometimes I'm not feeling it. But it's still a really helpful tool to continue writing and to make it easy to write. I am up to 37,172 words, which is so cool. I'm going to finish this vlog when I get up to 40,000. It may still be another few weeks because I don't often write a lot during them. It depends what's going on, how motivated I am. But I did see another video by Bethany Artizata, and she talks about how as she's writing this first draft, every time she starts, she actually goes back and edits and rereads, or reread, you gotta reread to edit, but she goes back over what she'd previously written, what she'd previously written to a certain point. I don't know at what point she starts, whether it's every 1,000 words or just the start of the chapter or the scene or whatever. That gets her into the flow when she's not feeling like it, because she goes to herself, well, I'm just reading it and editing it, and then I will keep going, and by that point she's in the flow. So that's what got me there last night when I did a 3 a.m. writing session while Mason was feeding, and it ended up being super good. And I'm feeling creative since I have lots of opportunity during the day to think about the story. It's been really good. The longer I write, the more I learn, which obviously, but it's so true, because I've learned so much over this past, I would say, year to 2 years, or especially this past time coming back to writing since becoming a mum. I've learned so much about my process and what I need for it to be enjoyable and for it to work, and how I bang on a lot, even though this might be your first vlog of mine, but I've banged on a lot in the past about how it's so important for me now to get my setting right, so I know where I am, and to actually spend the time developing the setting for it to be fun. And I had no idea until these last 3 years of my life. I had no idea that that was so important, and it's been amazing in improving my writing quality and my enjoyment, and yeah, just I was going to say my writing quality again.
So I'm going to go now because it's been 6 minutes. I've rambled on a lot. Maybe I'll just check in one more time at 40k and then be like, woohoo, I'm there. Whoop, whoop, let's end the vlog. I had such a good writing session last night, and I never thought I would say that because it's the most uncomfortable, like, people would think it's the most uncomfortable position that I am ever in, because I'm literally, last night's one where I wrote like 300 words and I just wanted to keep going because I was so inspired, and it got to the point where it just did not matter what funky position I was in. I was just in the zone and doing it. But I'm literally lying in bed on my side, baby here, and then I've got my phone up like this, and I've got my two hands in the air with my phone suspended in the air typing. My head on a pillow. It's not ergonomic at all. It just makes me laugh. It's just so funny. It's so funny, but I'm having a great time. It's making me feel like a person, continuing life and what I want to do while also getting in the needs of my baby. So I'm gonna go. Bye. Hey guys, just a little update. I haven't actually been writing because I came up to this next scene where I needed to understand. I'm doing a vlog clip, honey. I came up to this scene where I needed to know a bit more backstory of the character. I thought I'd already known enough, but when I started thinking about what he knows in relation to the plot, I decided that I needed to rethink that a little bit more and work out how he's connected the dots and then how the dots actually connect, and then work on his backstory a little bit more. And I didn't want to do that on my phone for, I don't know, a silly reason, because I had to move the notes that I already had for him into a different section of my notes app, like my notes document, and then start all over again, and that just felt too hard on my phone. Plus I've been enjoying reading. Yeah, that's good. Plus I've been enjoying reading, so I didn't want to stop that momentum. I'm not super excited by the book that I'm reading, but you guys will find that out in another video. But last night Mason actually went to bed earlier than he has been, so I had some time before I was in bed and fixed up the notes document, so now I'm just writing straight into where I need to, and I'm hoping then that that will motivate me to keep going and write some more and figure out what this character is doing. Hey guys, I'm here with the baby. I have found out that there is another villain in the story, even though I already knew that he existed, but I hadn't developed him at all. All I called him was Doctor, that works with my current villain. This Doctor won't come into it until the next book, or possibly even the third, I'm not sure. I needed to understand him to understand a character's backstory that I originally stopped writing the scene to do, and I've had a really fun time with creating who this character is. It is amazing how quickly he has solidified and became a person. I did a reel to get people to help me name him because I could see everything else, but the name was quite difficult. And thank you to Maeve. I'm sure will watch this video at some stage. We've gotten to know each other a little bit over YouTube friends, which is super cool. But she ended up coming up with a list of names, and the winning one for me that I really liked is Roland. And from there, today I've actually been brainstorming a bit more about his backstory and doing some brainstorming with Daniel as well. He's been listening a lot to my book stuff, and it's been really helpful because being on maternity leave, normally we would talk about work, or I would have gotten out of the house a bit more to have more things to say. But, you know, maternity leave with a baby, I've been inside a lot, and thinking about my story a lot more as well. And I've just been pushing myself to tell him, not that he's not interested in it, but I don't know, I don't talk about my writing with very many people, and I have talked to Daniel a lot about my writing before, but it's not something that comes up in everyday conversation. But I've just kind of made it do that, and it's been a lot of fun, and he's actually helped me with a lot of brainstorming stuff recently, so that's been really cool. I brainstormed a little bit with Daniel to the fact that this villain has a wife and child. I know who they are already. I thought about this today, just about an hour ago. They link up with these two characters that are already in my book. I'm gonna go. I'm supposed to be tidying up. Bye. Hey guys, I'm doing more backstory, lore, character creation stuff. I've just invented 4 new volatile elementals, so they're the ones that have the extra element that is very hard to control. That's been fun. Difficult for my brain, it feels like a workout, but it's fun once I get into it, and I am back into it now. I'm in wanting to do stuff mode. I'm excited, but I just am lacking the time. But that's okay. I'm still getting little smidgens done every day. I'm excited to get back into typing the story, even though the backstory stuff is fun as well. But what I got up to is that this character was about to reveal his suspicions about another character, and to work out exactly what his suspicions are, I've had to think about what this other character has been doing all this time, because he's sort of seen bits and pieces and have pieced things together, but I didn't know what things he witnessed. So I just needed to create all these other characters to then know what situations he has witnessed. And that's also led into more backstory stuff for someone who I haven't quite decided yet, but I may have, it's either going to be, I don't think it's going to be a POV change though, sorry. For book 2, it's going to be an added POV, I think is where I'm going to go. I don't know whose POV it's going to be, whether it's going to be a guy's one, because, and I mean, to be fair though, I am in third person, so I could do scenes from different ones. It's just putting a different tone on the book. And I don't know whether it's just that I have these particular scenes in my head that I've always really wanted to include, but would they be better as bonus scenes? Do these characters that I'm thinking of actually need to have their own books or need to be part of the POVs? So that's going to be interesting, because I know what they're going to be like for this book, but I don't know what they're going to be like for the third, and I'm planning a trilogy. So before I do book 2, I'm going to have to figure that out. And once I do an outline for book 2, that is going to lead in to more stuff, because I'll understand what threads are still needing to be tied up and whether there's more story there. But I get so excited for the backstories too. I would love to do a backstory, like either a novella or a novel, or like a novel of novellas, depending on how I want to weave everybody's story in together. But it's so fun. I'm having a really good time. Still wanting to hit that 40k to finish this vlog, and I will get there soon. I'm at like 38,000 words. That's why it's so maddening that I've had to stop, because I'm so close to being halfway through. Hey guys, in the car again. I had a breakthrough in what Luca's suspicions are built on, and I'm quite happy with how it's all turned out. I'm just finishing up my notes, and then I'll be back to writing, which is going to be super cool. So I've got a bit of outline to fix, because things have changed a tiny little bit, and if there's any more of the character backstory that I just need to write while I'm in this role, but hopefully I'm hoping that either tonight or by tomorrow night I'll be back to writing some words. I haven't started writing any words yet to the manuscript, but I'm pretty sure I'm done with all the new characters I need to create for now. I'm just working on the outline right now. I'm working on the game-changing midpoint and the bad guys close in. I'm a little bit anxious that the bad guys close in is not as big as what it needs to be, but then also stories don't perfectly have to follow Save the Cat, and I've actually edited a bit of Save the Cat and brought in other, like the other three act structure, is that what it's called, and just changed the wording of things a little bit to make it suit in my outline template, so it doesn't exactly have to follow. But I am just a bit worried that this particular beat is not as long as what it needs to be, and I'm just worried that it's going to be boring. I feel like the stakes need to be ramped up, but I don't know how to do it So I'm going to turn that over in my head, and it may be that I'm not going to be doing any new writing until Monday or something like that, because I'm pretty confident that right now I'm going to keep wanting to work on this every day, so it might take me a little bit.
Get my neighbours out, so I'm going to go. Hey guys, that was just a quick clip of exactly when I finished doing my outline revision, added alterations. I didn't want to wake the baby because I'm doing the late night feed. Yeah, because we do about an 11 o'clock feed, and then he'll wake about 3 or 4 in the morning, and usually I do that one and Daniel does this one, but he wanted to go to sleep earlier today. He was a bit more tired, and I was on a roll with my writing stuff, so it ended up working out really, really good. I'm so excited to have finished doing the alterations on the outline, and I feel like I have learnt so much throughout this process. Learned a lot about how I develop my own characters and how I get their descriptions and their backstories, and that even if it doesn't, or if it's a bit frustrating, it can be quite helpful to get people's backstories. I've also learned a lot more about the bad guys close in beat, which is within the Save the Cat stuff. I've probably already mentioned that before. This beat also includes a lot of internal stuff. It's when the character starts to doubt themselves and doubt their goal that they're going for. It starts to help them realize that, I forget how this website worded it, I'll leave a link to it down below because it was really helpful. It was like, it's the official Save the Cat website, but it's about learning that it's not them being the bad guys or the problems. It is about me or the main character. It's about the main character. They're the one that actually has the problem, not all this other external stuff that they're blaming essentially at all, or not blaming. Generally it's not malicious stuff, it's just that it takes us a while to realize that we are in control of our own destinies regardless of what is thrown at them. So that was really cool, and I already had some internal stuff that worked really well with it. That's always really fun when it happens, and I think that's also a testimony to being a reader, because generally the more you read, the more you instinctively pick up storytelling, and then you're able to, with a bit of refinement, piece things together a bit better. Added those notes to my outline template so that when I go to write the next book, I've got all of these handy hints that essentially write the book for me. I've raised the stakes in a way that I hadn't intended to in the past. I gotta go because Mister wants something to eat, but yeah, hopefully talk to you guys soon with actual manuscript progress. I did it, guys! I'm at 40,000. Woohoo! 40,005 to be exact. Pretty much as soon as I was pushing myself in like a good way, not a bad way, because I really wanted to hit the 40,000 words tonight. And I had finished the chapter that I was on, and I was at like 39,800 or something stupid like that. So I kept going into the next chapter, which was kind of helpful because it kept just rolling on. It was like pretty much a quick sort of close continuation of what had just happened. So I was still on a roll. But as soon as I'd seen that I'd reached the 40,000, because I did 40,005, then I was like, no, I'm done. It's time to go to bed. I hope I keep writing, because the next super interesting goal that I'll be getting up to is writing the midpoint. And that's the funny thing about having reached this 40,000 words, is that I'm not at the midpoint of my story, though I am going to end the vlog here. I'll start another one pretty much straight away and record the next 10,000 words. I always hope that they're going to be over a shorter time span, but so far that has not proved anything. I wonder if this vlog is a year, because the last one that I did spanned a whole year to get the next 10k words. So it's going to be very interesting if this one has as well. But that's just life right now, and that's fine. So just take a little bit of wisdom from me at the end, is that if you feel like you've got no time to write, or you feel like you'd never be quick enough to write and keep going, it is still worth it. You still can do it. It doesn't matter if you release things slowly. I sincerely hope that once I start actually publishing, that it won't take me so long to release the next book. It'll come close to tying up when the first young years of having children will be over. And I tell you what, today was actually a really good day. It was still exhausting by the end of it, but I was actually able to do some writing while the 3-year-old, the toddler, did some independent play during quiet time. And so even when they're not napping, I'm still be able to set some boundaries so that we have some me time. And that's at 3. Like, imagine what it's going to be like when he's 6. Not that I don't want to spend time with him. And part of my writing time that I did during quiet time, he came and sat next to me, and he was just like the cutest little 3-year-old in the planet. And I just had to like hug him and squeeze him and be like, you're just so cute. I love him so much. You know, I'm so happy that I have these 2 sweet little boys. I will talk to you guys in my next vlog. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Are you a writer? Are you a reader? What do you find interesting about these vlogs? Thank you guys. I'll chat to you next time. Bye.